This is Real Generational Wealth. Live from Southern California, this is Abby, Espy, and Jen.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday.
Welcome back everyone to Real Generational Wealth. We have over 50 years of combined experience making sure you and your family always have a place to call home. We've been off for the past couple weeks, so it's really good to be back. It's good to be on here and talk to all of you viewers and get back to talking about real estate. So if you're watching us live, be sure to hashtag live, and if you're catching us on the replay, hashtag replay. So what's up, ladies? What's new with you? How's business? How's the market on your end of town?
So it's been pretty busy. Like for me, my daughter's out of school, so I have to watch her and also take care of my business at the same time. And sometimes I take her on appointments with me and take her in the office to work with me too. So I don't know if you guys have seen some of the videos, but Maya, she's at the dentist's office right now, but she usually comes in with me to work because my husband, he just started a new job, and he's super busy working from 5 to 12, like 5 a.m. to 12 midnight.
Wow.
So yeah, because they're launching the new Rivian cars in the next month or so. So yeah,
when is it launching? When are they going to start selling that?
So they're launching the program. They're letting the employees have the cars first in August. I think in July they're doing the trucks, and then in August they have the SUVs, which we reserved, and they don't know when it's going to be available to the public. So
that's good.
Yeah,
wow.
but yeah, he has a lot of deadlines, so he's working a lot right now. But as far as the market goes, so I have a listing in Rowland Heights. Surprisingly, it's still on the market. What happened was while we were fixing it up, there was the week that we did a coming soon, like, you know how you can put coming soon before you put your listing on the market. So while we were doing coming soon, there was like 15 homes that went on the market that week. So, you know, a lot of them were priced lower, some were priced higher, but there's more inventory now. So buyers, you know, if there's buyers out there that are discouraged, there is an increase in inventory because a lot of the homeowners saw that, you know, they can sell their home for $50,000, $100,000 more than they thought. So how about you ladies? How's it going in your market?
Well, I finally finished my business in the Bay Area.
Nice.
And I'm really concentrating here in the Valley now and exploring the place, going to different areas. Glendale, last week I was in Brentwood and Santa Monica, checking the place too. Right here in North Hollywood. You know, it's amazing that now before I was looking at it like the macro. Now I'm starting to get to know the neighborhoods a little bit, pockets here and there, and checking out the market. And it's surprising because I start seeing all these open house signs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to do open houses again.
I haven't been to one yet. I didn't go. Although I get invitations, you know, for the last 2 weeks, I get invitations from agents. You know how when you are searching for some properties and then they think that, you know, they would like to invite you to their open house. So they do that too. So, you know, once in a while I get an invitation. Yeah. But this is the top of the market right now, and we're slowly opening up. So there's a lot of excitement. And of course, you know, people are moving.
Yeah.
People are moving, rates are still low. You know, people are more positive right now with all these amazing results we have on the vaccinations, you know. So we just finished the Memorial Day, and it was quite busy in the beaches, right? I know Jen went to
I was in Florida.
you know. So we're booking our vacations and our trips now for the last quarter of this year and maybe next year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of positivity. But what I notice is I always listen and watch YouTube right here behind me. I have my big screen here, and you get all kinds of news, whether it is like be prepared for the worst, and at the same time, the market is just booming, and it's just great. You know,
So a
so
lot of people, a lot of the buyers that are waiting right now, they're hoping that we're going to have a crash just like what we had back in
mhm,
2007. So
mhm,
they're
2008, yeah.
thinking, oh,
It's
okay, the forbearance period is almost over. There's going to be foreclosures and there's going to be a crash.
mhm,
So what do you ladies think about that?
I I can say without a doubt there's not going to be a crash. It's not going to crash like 2008. The thing is, to piggyback off of what you were saying with your listing, Abby, how the week that you were coming soon, you had a ton more listings that came up as competition, right? So
Mhm.
I'm working with a ton of buyers who the last couple months it's been so rough trying to buckle down a property. But in the last, like, I'd say 2, 3 weeks, we've seen an increase in inventory. It's not normal. It's still not back to normal, I don't think.
Yeah.
But still definitely more, than what we've been used to these past couple of months. And because of that, I think there's this evening out in the market. Not complete. It's still a seller's market, so sellers now still the time to sell. But the trick as a seller is still to make sure that you're pricing right. Because
mhm.
if you're pricing too high and you're going against a competitive property
Yeah.
that's priced much lower, you're going to be sitting on the market much longer.
Mhm.
Um, but going back to the topic we're talking about with this forbearance program, with the moratorium being lifted, so many properties now have equity. So the market's not going to crash. As this moratorium gets lifted and people need to start paying their loans again, um, there's equity. People would rather sell, pull out their equity instead of go into a short
Mhm.
sale and
Mhm.
get foreclosed on. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whereas before they didn't have a lot of equity. A lot of the homes were upside down
yeah,
back in 2008. So that's why you saw that huge influx in short sales. But right now, because the home prices are so high, there's not really going to be a lot of short sales. Like many of the homeowners have plenty of equity in their home, so they have that option to sell once the forbearance period is over or during the forbearance period.
Mhm.
right. I mean, SB, I know you used to be a mortgage or you used to be a lender back in the day, and loans back then were 110% financing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
That's the
people
reason
were
why I
going
learned
into
from,
homes
from the
already
lender.
upside down.
Yeah. 2009, then, I became a CSSS, which is a short sale specialist. So I was doing a lot of short sale, doing modifications. I've seen my neighbors do did and lieu, all kinds of things. And that was way in El Dorado Hills, where there's a lot of luxury homes, big homes, and people were moved from the Bay Area to the north, up north, 30 minutes north of Sacramento. So that area there, they have a lot of master planned communities. And when we started having this problem with the real estate, i you see door after door where people are just being taken out from their homes.
Yeah.
It was a horrible situation. I learned to coach people on short sale, loan modification, and during that time, the loan modification just kept on changing.
Right.
Every month there's a new rule. There's a new rule, and it's so sad because even the investors are we're having a hard time figuring out what they're going to do and what the lenders are going to do and what the government is going to do. So luckily, we were able to go through that, you know, uh, past that, and then recovered. 2011, 2012, 13, multiple offers all the way until now.
Yeah.
You know, but the good thing about it is that because the lenders became stricter on their underwriting, we have a lot of equity where people are just um, conservative, have to full documentation when you go get a loan. And another good thing about right now is that the interest rates are low.
Yeah.
We don't know when that's going to be done, but they're saying, I hear a lot from the experts are saying that with the situation right now with the COVID, the Feds are going to try to really control that interest rate to stay low so that people can still manage and own homes. The millennials are getting married, they're starting to have kids, and they're buying. That's the reason why we have this crazy market, is because the millennials are out there and they need a home. They need their own place, you know. And for me, as a baby boomer, what I'm hearing and what I'm experiencing with my peers, my past clients, and in general, is that there's a lot of people who are migrating. Either they're moving out from the prime areas, maybe 30, 40 miles away, from, let's say, here in California. They're not really moving out, but there are also people who are moving out, young and old. Tennessee, Idaho, North Dakota. I've not heard of those states before as a place of destination, but now it's just getting to be popular.
It's the first year that the population of California is in decline. Usually the population goes up every year, but I think because the government also halted a lot of the visa applications, because I watched 90 Day Fiance, but they halted a lot of visa applications, and people are saying it's way too expensive to live in California. So they're migrating to places like Idaho, more affordable places like Arizona and Texas. And also a lot of it is motivated by politics as well.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Politics and taxes too.
I think another thing that also makes a difference with all that is the fact that the matter is big corporations realize they don't need to be in the office, right?
Oh, that's true.
Shut down during COVID and people started working from home. And as they've realized they can still keep productivity with all their employees from home, they don't need them to come into the office. Like I personally know some friends who are moving to Austin, they're moving up to NorCal, they're moving up to Central California, but they're still working. Their home base is still here in LA, right? Their office. But because their office is letting them continue working from home, there's no need for them to be near the city. There's no need for them to actually be living near their office, because if they can keep productivity at its same rate or better, these corporations would rather just do that. And so people are living where they truly want to live, right? Where it's cheaper or further away from traffic, things like that.
Even my husband, he works from home, but his team is in Palo Alto. So with a lot more people working from home, the requirements for the type of homes they want, it's changed a little bit. So now you see more home buyers looking for a home office area, or like a den, or a room, an extra room that they can convert into an office, and also a bigger lot. Like that's something that I've been seeing a lot, is home buyers looking for like much bigger space, maybe to grow their garden. So because we're spending a lot more time home now after COVID.
That's right. So even for me, for the baby boomers, we are looking now into selling our home, downsizing, and in fact, I wanted to mention to you that next week I'm going to be talking in live stream with an expert who does, how you can defer your taxes, not using 1031 exchange, but something else. It's called modified installment sale. So
I've never heard of that.
Me neither.
Yeah. So
We'll
it's
be
going to
sure
be
to
really
tune in.
interesting.
When was it again? Next week?
It's called MIS, MIS,
Okay.
Modified Installment Sale. So right now, there's a lot of baby boomers out there who doesn't want to sell their home or their investment properties, because they don't want to pay the taxes.
Right.
So you're only allowed up to 500,000 if you're married, or if you're single, up to 250,000. So what happens if the house that you bought for 200,000 is now $2 million? So of course you're going to be paying a lot of tax. So with this Prop 19 that came up lately and the new tax laws that are coming up, of course, on the other side of the fence, we're looking at different ways on how you're going to deal with that. How you're going to protect yourself, or still continue having your own legacy. So there are new ways. In fact, this has been around for a while, but most of the people only knew about 1031 exchange, when you want to defer taxes. But this one is a different topic, or it's another strategy, or you can defer the taxes and even skip for generation.
Hmm.
That's how the people are creating their legacy, you know, and still at the same time live nicely, when you retire, and have some money for your golden age, cash flow. Yeah. So I'll be talking about that next week on June 17, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then up to 5:30 for people who wants to ask questions.
Okay.
So
We'll
Oh,
be
we'll
yeah,
definitely tune in.
yes.
I mean, that's
yeah. Thank you.
something new. It sounds like a hack, like
Like a
a
life hack.
1031 exchange hack.
No, it's lawful.
Is it? It's legal, right?
It
It's
is,
legal
of
to do
course,
that.
it is. Yeah. It's just some people, we it's good to know certain things, especially for I'm really, my heart is for the baby boomers, just because I'm in that bracket.
Yeah.
But honestly, with what happened during the 2008 2010, there's a lot of this generation that were impacted by that event, losing their retirement, losing their homes, losing
That's
their investment
true.
property.
Yeah,
And yeah, there were some that were losing like 10, 9, 8, all these homes that they have built during that crazy times, 2001 to 2007. And then market just went down the tubes, and it created a domino effect for them.
I
So
think a lot of it had to do with adjustable rate mortgages,
yeah.
and
Correct.
once you're, because you get used to a certain payment and you have your budget set every month, right? But with
Mm-hmm.
the adjustable rate mortgages, sometimes the payment went up like $1,000. Even
Yeah.
$500 is a lot for people to catch up on when they're
Mm-hmm.
not used to paying that much money every month. Because
Right.
I know even in my family, like that's happened to a lot of members of my family, and that's how they lost their homes. And
Yeah.
even until now, it's hard for them to bounce back because
Yeah.
all of their life savings was in their
We're in that.
home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But luckily, those people who have sustained or was able to, keep their homes, their properties, and now they are going to the retirement age, and you don't want to be property manager for all your life,
Yeah.
for how
It's
long.
stressful.
Yeah. So this is a chance for you to actually unload, sell them, or downsize the home that you have, and live a better, live in a more suitable home. You
Yeah.
know, there are some people there because during the mid 2000s, we were selling homes that were like 3,000 to 5,000 square feet home.
Mhm.
You know, that was the time when before, during the 80s and 90s, 3 bedroom, 2 bath ranch home is the ideal,
Right.
you know. And then it became luxurious, 95, 1995, all the way to 2005. People were starting to move out of out of the Bay Area when I was there, and was moving to bigger homes like 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom. And then lately we have the in-law homes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, the next gen home.
Yeah, the next gen, where you have two, three generations inside the
Yeah.
house, inside one
Multi-generational.
lot. So with you having a big equity, but then now your lifestyle is gonna be changing. You can't fix a big yard anymore. You can't fix 5 bedrooms when there's only two of you who lives in the house. It's
Mhm.
time for you to really think about downsizing and use that equity and leverage for your retirement, right? Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
A lot
because
of baby boomers, they're moving in with their kids too. That's
yeah.
why they have those next gen homes where you have
Mhm.
a separate entrance and separate
ADU.
kitchen. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of the new construction homes, they have that option now, so that the older or the baby boomers can stay with their kids. And there's also someone there to watch them in case anything happens. They're
Yeah.
just a door away.
Well, you know what? Our generation, our parents, it was okay. The what you call the silent generation. But our generation, we're more independent. We like to travel. We like to do
Yeah.
this. Our generation is more of like, even when you're 60s, you're still out there and being active, being
Yeah.
independent,
Hmm.
traveling. Going from one place to another, and sometimes if they live with their family, with their kids, sometimes there's some kind of a disparity there because, our generation is more strong head. You cannot
They
tell them.
and then they're expected to be babysitters.
Yeah, yeah. But they like to be a babysitter, but at the same time, they like to have a good time with their friends,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's
I would
So,
true.
agree with that. My parents are just like that.
yeah. So, you know what's going on right now? More and more are living together, like friends are talking about that.
Yeah.
It's, hey, co-op,
Oh, like a
Co-housing.
co-op.
what
Yeah.
you call
House
co-op.
hacking. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they live together. They're all maybe single or maybe they're friends. They have like two or three couples who stay in one house and share that house. And some people travel, stay in the Philippines for 6 months, or go to even in Italy or in Norway. There's a lot of them who does that. You know
Mm-hmm.
where they stay in one place for a couple of months or so and then come back you know so yeah, it's a different generation.
Yeah. I mean, I think overall, buyers, regardless of what generation or age,
Hmm.
are just getting a little more creative in general, right? Like you had mentioned earlier, Abby, that people are looking for bigger lot sizes, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of millennials, a lot of my clients don't have kids yet, right? Even in
Mm-hmm.
our 30s. I just turned 34 last week, right?
Mhm.
And I don't have kids yet, but
Baby.
I have friends that don't have kids yet, but they need a house for their dog, right?
Yeah.
The dogs, our fur babies are much more important right now, and you mentioned plants, right? A lot of people have gotten into gardening since COVID.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
priorities in general, I think, have just changed for
You
buyers
know, that's
overall.
so true because we have 8 dogs. And when we were looking for a home, we were looking for a home based on our dog's needs,
Yeah.
not the kids, not me or my husband, but we were like, we need to find like half an acre for these 8 dogs because I don't want it to smell like poop.
Yeah.
What if because we were in a small lot in South OC,
Mm.
and when I couldn't even go to the backyard because it was like a 5,500 square foot lot with at the time we had 4 dogs.
Mm.
So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
it's so true. The needs definitely change. I mean,
Mhm.
and we were looking for we I'm into sustainability and we wanted to find something like a huge lot where we can grow and cultivate our own food just in case,
Mhm.
because I thought, oh, what if the apocalypse happens? We're not going to be able to get food. We're not going to be able to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
If we have our food in the backyard, we
Mhm.
can just eat food from there and we don't have to get out of the house,
Yeah.
just be self sustainable.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if everyone, feels that way, but yeah, a lot of millennials, they are looking for a bigger lot size and to be more environmentally conscious
Hmm.
and grow a garden. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
before that
right.
we didn't have that. Like we
Yeah.
didn't have things like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
and
you can
also for
also
the
grow
dog.
garden in a small space. All this micro gardening is and hydro planting.
Yeah, hydroponics.
Yeah,
You can
hydroponics
just
is
do
getting
vertical gardens.
vertical gardening. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, so all of these are change of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I noticed too with a lot of millennials, like I don't want to categorize everybody, but the bulk of buyers right now are millennials. They're really hoping that the market's going to crash and that they're going to get a great deal on foreclosures once the moratorium is over. But I just want to emphasize that I don't anticipate that. Like we don't anticipate that happening. It's just there's so many safeguards today versus before. Like before, you didn't need to document your employment, right? They had like no document loans, or they used to be
Mhm.
called liar loans. And then I know some lenders told me they used to do like Photoshop, like they would make fake paychecks or pay stubs and then pass
Yeah.
it through to the underwriter. And I at the time around 2007, it was normal to do things like that. Like
Yeah.
they weren't verified.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
now it's a lot stricter to get approved for a loan.
Yeah.
A lot of people, even though they make six figures, they make 200,000, a lot of times they can't get approved for a loan because of their debt. Whereas in the past, they didn't really factor in your debt to income ratio when approving you for a loan. So I just want to tell the buyers out there, you don't want to wait until next year. You don't know what's going to happen. And the interest rates might increase so much that it'll price you out of the market. You might
Mhm.
not even be able to get qualified for a home loan at that time. So it's better to buy a home right now, even though it's competitive. We're still getting more inventory. Even though it's competitive, just take advantage of the low interest rates while you can.
Well, eventually sellers are gonna start coming out. You know, I think uh, there's gonna be more and more sellers who's gonna start unloading,
Yeah. I
selling
mean,
their property and transitioning to a different lifestyle.
I think overall, with because the moratorium has been in place,
Mm-hmm.
with people going, getting their forbearance programs with their mortgage companies,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones who aren't paying their mortgage, like they're getting a pass through, right? Because they're not paying their mortgage, but they're also not getting dinged for it. Their credit's not getting hit. They're not getting in trouble for not making their mortgage payments. So they don't have to move right now, right? But
Mm-hmm.
once that moratorium does get lifted, they're
Yeah.
gonna have to pay it back, or their mortgage company is gonna come ask them for that money. But it doesn't mean that they're gonna automatically go into foreclosure,
Yeah.
because
They can sell.
It's a
yeah,
process.
exactly, right. It's still gonna take
That's
them
what's
time to
gonna
go through the
happen. They're
process
gonna
with the
sell.
bank. And if it gets to a point where they can't make those mortgage payments anymore, they're going to sell because they've got a couple hundred grand in equity. Might as
Mm.
well take that money out, right? And then Abby, you were mentioning, or SBT, you guys are mentioning, just the mortgages now, they're so much more stricter. You actually have to have money. You
Mm.
actually have to have a down payment. You have to have a job. And there's so many safeguards, again, to prevent a lot of loans going into foreclosure. So it's not going to be the way it was before. But another
Yeah,
thing,
before you didn't really have an option to sell. You had to short sale
yeah,
because you were upside down on your mortgage.
right,
Now
Yeah.
that it's really seldom that you'll find someone, even though they're going through the forbearance period, that's upside down because the home prices are at the highest that they've ever been,
yeah,
even higher than 2005, 6, and 7.
yep,
So it's good
Yeah,
to
and
take advantage of that.
we're not refinancing like 100% or 90%. The
true,
lenders have been very conservative with regards to cashing out
yeah,
your equity, you know. So, but the way I see it is that definitely there's going to be a disruption as
yes,
we come out from COVID, from all
there has to
these.
be a correction, yeah,
There's going to be a disruption in the
yeah,
market. The forbearance is going to hit us. There's going to be some changes. People are going to be moving around. I've seen already migration going on. And the prediction of a lot of these people who are watching the economy. There's going to be migration, which is already happening right now, but they're also talking about the tax changes, and people are moving out from California because of the changes in the tax. So, yeah, definitely there's going to be a disruption. So, for me, I have been through several ups and downs of the
mhm,
market. Since 1988, we have been going from one market to another, and people survive, and in the end, it's still in the upside. If you look at it, people who moved and bought their homes 30 years ago, if they lived in that same house and sustained that house, they are so much like in the winning edge. They have millions of dollars from the of equity on their home. So in general, that would still happen because we're still growing, population is still there,
Yeah,
you know. So United States is still a destination for people who are dreamers. So we will still be in good shape, you
I
know.
think so. I agree.
Okay,
I mean, I'll go ahead.
when I just moved here, 1982, the interest rate was like 18%, adjustable,
Yikes.
all the way up to 18% adjustable. But the house is there, what, 175,000. So it's just a difference in that.
Yeah,
So now we have all these houses that are high, but we are like 2%, 3% interest rate,
yeah,
fixed. It's not even adjustable. you know so this is a perfect time to really take advantage of that. And if you the moment, there are ways of actually owning a home even without money. If you are a person who is responsible, who has a decent job, there are ways for people that can get in right now, you know even without money.
Or they can do like 3% down. I know Biden, they're talking about like down payment assistance programs, but there's
mhm,
also down payment assistance programs that are city specific. So just look
Mhm.
in the city where you're interested to buy a home. They might have some housing programs that will help you pay for the down payment.
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
Pomona has things like that. Pomona, Montclair,
Yeah.
but a lot of times when I do see those, they have income limitations, and people have a problem with going below the income limitations. So you can't go, like some of them, you can't be over 103,000. So
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
so
But
there's
I
different
mean, that's why
programs.
it's city specific. There's a bunch of limitations. I mean, we can definitely cover that in another episode with getting
right.
pre-approved and talking about loans.
Mhm.
But I do want to say, I mean, there's something I always tell my clients is one of the golden rules in, I guess, in real estate or home ownership is you don't, what is it? Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy
Yeah.
real estate and wait.
Mhm.
Because I had buyers 5 years ago that said, we're gonna wait until it levels out, until prices drop. Prices
Mhm.
have not dropped. They are continuing to go up. And so
Mhm.
now that interest rates are low, people are like, okay, I'm going to wait till the market crashes, but going back to what you guys said, who knows if interest rates will stay this low, right?
Yep.
You
Yep.
want to buy your real estate now and wait, because
Yeah.
even the people who owned in 2005, 2006, when they bought at the height of the market and it crashed in 2008, if they've kept their house, they, well, basically it's worth more now than it did
Yeah.
at the height of the market then,
Right.
right? So,
Right. Yeah.
That's so true. And in Southern California, there's always going to be a demand in housing. I
yeah.
mean, you always have more people that are renting or wanting to buy a house than you have houses available. Because right now I see every home that's on the market, you have about 30 buyers for that one home. And then they just go with the highest and best offer, best terms. And I actually had someone that canceled escrow last year because they said, "Oh, you know what? The prices are too high. I want to wait." I'm like, if they would have just bought the home, they would probably have another 50 to 70,000 in equity now, even though it's
Yeah.
only been a year.
Yeah.
But it's Orange
Mhm.
County, and the home prices have skyrocketed in Orange County.
Double
So
digit increase since January.
yes, yes, all the home prices have gone up everywhere.
Yeah, up to
Um,
15, 16%. Some places are 20%.
yeah,
Amazing. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I want to
So
acknowledge, let's acknowledge our viewers here, our SMBG family are here. Malu Valdez, Connie Oliverio,
oh, Malu
JP.
was in Hawaii for like a month. She didn't
I
want to come
know
back.
there's a group of them who went there quietly. They didn't tell us.
I was supposed to go, but it's hard to go without my family. I can't go
Yeah,
just
of
by
course.
myself.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
cry without
That's true.
my
Yeah.
kids.
Poggy is here. Clarice, Dia, Nanette. There's a lot of the SMBG family that I'm not really, there's some of them, quite a bit of them are new and they're very active. So
You all
I
for
just
tuning
wanted to
in.
say hello to them. And I just want to say that here we are. Well, hey, Jen, what is the episode that we have right now? How many? This is our nth
Ooh,
episode. I think the
I feel
14th or
like this
15th
is
episode.
probably our 12, maybe 14th
More
episode.
because I
Season
saw
2.
the last one you sent me was 13.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're probably
Episode
on 14.
13. Yeah.
We have a ton of new content that we have for you guys this season.
Yeah.
We definitely, with all the changes that have happened with real estate, we definitely want to get you guys prepared
Mm-hmm.
to buy, to sell,
Mm-hmm.
to cash out your fat
Invest.
equities and basically leverage your real estate. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah. I always say, just like you, Jen, the best time to buy is now because this is
now,
now present is the only thing that's sure. We don't know what's going to happen next year,
yep,
next month, tomorrow. We don't know that.
that's true.
Housing is a necessity. Investing in real estate is, one of the pillars of most of the people in their asset book. If you
And
look at their
rents
asset,
are so high right now. Like, why are you making your landlord rich instead of making yourself rich?
Yep.
Like, pay yourself, pay down your equity or build equity instead of building your landlord's equity.
hmm yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have this call, my phone.
Do you ladies have anything else
Maybe
to
some
add
telegram.
or
Next
Sorry.
week.
yes? We're definitely excited to talk about more with you guys next week. Definitely let us know in the comments if there's anything in particular that you guys do want to talk about or have any questions about.
Later,
Um,
about 15 minutes.
oh, SB took her call. Other than that, I guess we'll see you guys all next week.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
we'll have a short event tonight, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you then. Have a
Yeah.
great night.
Thank you for
Bye.
watching.